What's going on, everyone? My name is Bear, and today I am back with another album review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the newest album from American metalcore and deathcore band, the Acacia Strain, Slow Decay. Fun fact, the last concert I went to before the epidemic was their headlining one, where I actually heard one of the songs from this album, Wrld. And before I start, this is already going to be a weird review, because especially how they released this album. They started releasing 10 out of 12 of the songs on this album in pairs entitled Decay, Decay, which was released over the span of a few months, inciting the theme of slow decay. The album, as told by vocalist Vincent Bennett, is the breaking down of reality around us. It's just slowly happening over time. Basically, this album envisions the end of the earth, but in a slow burn. I will be honest and say that all of the singles that it released, I only listened to the D part of this album, which was Feed a Pigeon, Breed a Rat, and Seeing God, so I don't really know how the rest of the album will sound. And this reminds me a lot of how Joyner Lucas's ADHD album was released, but I think I can appreciate this album more, for the fact that there's a clear message around it. But I still think it's kind of pointless to release this as a whole album, considering 80% of the album was already released, but maybe listening to it in its entirety will change my mind. We start off with a very slow opener, Feed a Pigeon, Breed a Rat, which begins with a song about anti-vaccination, and how this is going to bring back more disease and famine and death, which they never thought would see come back. The band really wants to push this message against anti-vaxxers, which I think is kind of ironic considering about 2 weeks after the song was released, everything started getting shut down and we started to live such a different life than before. I like the opening a lot, as there's this very weird sound that kind of sounds like an airplane. I can't tell exactly what it is, but I think it adds a little bit more personality to it. Plus, that opening line kicks a lot of ass, especially because I remember hearing it live and everyone went fucking insane over it, and the instrumentation on this song sounds almost like a black metal type track for me. The way the soft bass collides with this very hard-hitting vocals and drums combine really well. This song kind of is another message for the people who don't believe in wearing a mask, which fucking do it if you don't, because they don't understand by not following these rules, you are possibly contaminating others by living your life as normal, but let's be honest, this is a completely different way of living. We then move to the next song, Crippling Poison, and this was a song that was not a part of the Decay series, as this was the first new song in the album we have. And it does have a lot more of an upbeat tone and a little bit more on the positive side, even though lyrically there isn't much there, especially this song doesn't have a lot of substance to it. Like, the guitarist Devin even said that it's just a song to get on stage and scream shit to. So I feel as if this is made just for that. As for the previous track, there was a clear meaning to what the song was trying to imagine. Like, I feel as if this could have been released as a single or maybe on an EP, because in the grand scheme of this album, I don't think that this song really fits, instrumentally or arrangement-wise, especially with the theme of the album. The next track is Seeing God, featuring Aaron Hurd of Jesus Piece, and this song is also in the D category, so this was also before the pandemic. This song kind of touches on how society kind of ignores all the wrong things around us, but the fact is we are the ones who caused it. This subject can also be a parallel to all the bad things in the world at this current moment, such as police brutality, sex trafficking of minors, and maybe even politics if you think about it. Now, of course, this was several months before these subjects weren't as commercial as they were right now, so lyrically it's very vague. Just kind of using lyrics similar to an Armageddon, talking about death and the decay of Earth, which I think we can probably say this is when the band conceptually starts to acknowledge the world falling apart around them. Now, I had never listened to Jesus Piece, so I can't really tell if Aaron Hurd or Vincent Bennett is delivering vocals, but they are pretty decent no matter what. Instrumentally, it kind of moves towards a death metal aspect, as it doesn't have a lot of interesting instrumentation that is Acacia Strain's usual style, and I do appreciate when experimentation is shown on an album, and I do admire them for that, but it just doesn't seem to fit Acacia Strain as well as I thought it would, as I believe the deathcore and metalcore aspect of their music is what they do best. This song I can't really say I enjoy all that much. We then move to the next track, Solace and Serenity. I guess you could say this is the title track of the album, as they do mention slow decay throughout the song, and the song is about the meaning of what they mean by slow decay of reality. Basically, long story short, it's about how eventually the Earth is going to end one day, and people during that moment saying everything will be okay, but obviously it's not. I kind of admire the song a lot for the description and imagery of the lyrics, and as it's kind of opposite lyrics in the two verses as well, where the first verse talks about how beautiful life is and how everything is great, but then as we move towards the second verse, it talks about pretty much whatever is causing the end of the world is basically telling them, y'all are fucked. I think that's my favorite thing about it. It's probably the instrumentation during the bridge, where it's a lot slower and a lot more aggressive. The song concept-wise in this album is where everything starts finding out that the end of the world has begun, and it's not going to be fast. And then shit really starts to hit the fan with the next track, the Lucid Dream, featuring Jess Nix of Mortality Rate, you think that maybe the world is going to be decaying because of the problems that we are causing, and that's partially true on this song. Except the fact is, in this song, we're being hunted and exterminated by aliens. I'm not joking. Basically, the aliens are killing all the humans because they have seen what they've done to fuck up Earth, so they're basically stopping us from doing more of that. By fucking killing us, basically. Let me just say, this is probably my favorite track on the album. I had never listened to Mortality Rate before, but after hearing Jess Nix's vocals, holy shit. Her vocals are really like a personified voice. Like, I love her vocal style because it just sounds like she's just pulling a Corey Taylor and just screaming her lungs out with no technique at all. Her vocals are almost scary in a way. The mix of Vincent Bennett and Jess Nix sounds fucking amazing, and I feel as if this adds another layer to the slow decay aspect, as Jess is another voice who is experiencing this, and it's not just Acacia Strain who's showing this to us. Plus, I feel like we could use this song for the new Destroy All Humans remake. Literally, this song honestly is just a really tragic and hopeless song. Basically saying we don't have any more time. It's time for us to die to these beings. We have no clue what they are, and the instrumentation on this song kicks a lot of ass too. Kinda reminds me of hardcore bands like Rotting Out, but a little bit more heavy and a little bit slower. Other than that, this song is very, very good. We then move to a mouthful of a track called I Breathed in the Smoke Deeply, It Tasted Like Death and I Smiled, featuring Zach Hatfield of Left Behind. This song has a little bit more of an obvious meaning to it, as Devin Shadaker, the guitarist of the band, basically says that, I think Vincent came up with the title in 2018 when the wildfires were going on, and we were driving through Washington, and the sun was almost blotted out by the smoke. You can draw a lot of parallels to the wildfires, but he also mentions, paraphrased, that because basically the person realizes, yeah, it's that time, the end of the world has begun. I've actually seen Left Behind and Acacia Strain perform in the same show. It was at a Chelsea Grin show back in November, and honestly, I didn't really think much of it. The collaboration actually works a lot better than I thought, as this song isn't a normal deathcore song. This one's more of a doom metal approach, and you can really tell that by the droning guitars and the really slow pace throughout this song. I do think that Zach Hatfield's vocals work really well with it, but honestly, Left Behind is kind of a stone dooner metal type thing already. So basically, this is a Left Behind song featuring Acacia Strain. I do appreciate this style change throughout the album, and like before, the mid-tempo death metal approach didn't really work that well, but I think that doom metal works a lot better for Acacia Strain, even if I can't get behind the vocals matching. And then the next track, Cross Gates, kind of is an intro to the next track, Inverted Person, as I Breathe in the Smoke was a lot more slow in pace and a lot more terror-inducing. This song is just like a shot of adrenaline to get you hyped up to split up the album. And basically, this song is only a minute long, and the whole point of the song is that we're fucked. In the words of Devin Shadaker, quote, we're fucked. I do like the arrangement of putting this right after the previous, because you really do have to listen to doom metal pretty patiently, so it's refreshing to have this shot of methamphetamine right into my ear holes. And once we move into Inverted Person, it's about one of the most dangerous things that are corrupting society. Boomers. Yep, they really made a song about boomers. This is a literal middle finger to all of the entitled boomers who won't help society in any way, and how they live like they were in adolescence, and don't understand how much has changed in society and progress-wise. They basically help the end of the world. I love how in this album we literally went from talking about being invaded by aliens exterminating us, to talking about entitled boomers ruining our lives. This shit is the reason why people need to listen to metal. You want to hear a guy get pissed off about boomers? Acacia Strain. You want to hear a song about a murderous carnival? Raven Black. You want to hear a song about having a small dick? Bro Job. And then we move to the next track, Shinamasa. This song is actually named after a Hindu goddess. I apologize if I didn't say it right. She is the goddess of contradiction, which I think is really interesting because of the fact that this song is about seeing the world fall apart around you and how your sanity is breaking because you have no idea what's going on. Which, if I add my 2 cents in, I feel as if maybe you can say the guy is lying to himself. The fact that he may know what's going on because he does physically, but mentally he's questioning himself. And with all respect, I'm not too much of a fan of the instrumentation of this song, but I do really love the very descriptive lyrics, and honestly that's all I have to really say about it. We then move to the next track, 1000 Painful Stings, featuring Courtney LaPlante of I Wrestled a Bear Once. This song is about the Earth being ignored by the universe because it's a failed experiment. First off, it starts off with a sample of Westworld, so thanks for that little nod, Acacia Strain. Second, this song, in my opinion, is my least favorite on the album. It's not really anything wrong with it instrumentally, but from what the song is about, I can't really draw any kind of conclusion about that from the lyrics. So it really throws me off. I didn't really listen to I Wrestled a Bear Once while they were around, but I have listened to several Spirit Box songs, which Courtney LaPlante was a part of, and I can say that she's a very good vocalist, but her feature is very unnecessary, as it was all the way at the end of the song and it was fading in the entire time, so you basically can barely hear most of her verse anyway, so it would have been better off just not included on there entirely. We then move to the next track, Birds of Paradise, Birds of Prey. This song is the goodbye to Earth because it's ending. I actually really like this song. Gives me a lot of Wormwood vibes, which is my favorite Acacia Strain album, believe it or not. Which I think is kind of weird because Devin Shadaker himself literally said that they basically ripped off Crowbar's Planets Collide. Which, honestly, I think that since the song is talking a lot about the Earth ending, I feel as if this could be in a similar way as to when hip-hop artists sample other songs about the same subject that they're rapping about on the new track. I really like the instrumentation on this song, and the lyrics are the same type of apocalyptic theme that they've been talking about all throughout, but I think the instrumentation is what sells the song for me. We basically end the album with the end of the world with the song Earth Will Become Death, as everyone and everything that was on Earth is now dead, and everything has become nothing. The details and the very descriptive lyrics are the best part of this fucking song. Especially some of the parts in the bridge where he repeats the song title, kind of moving his voice into a more vocal fry than a growl. I believe that this is a pretty solid closer, even though I may not have a lot to say about it. I still enjoy this song a lot. My final thoughts on this album, my favorite features on the album were probably Zach Hatfield and Jess Nix. There's lots of good experimentation of sound on this album, and there's also some bad experimentation of sound on this album as well, but I think the good actually outweighs the bad. Doom metal is actually a very good sound for Acacia Strain, but high-tempo death metal does not work as well as they would think. The lyrics were very descriptive. I actually I like a lot of the songs where they were describing how Earth looks and how everybody is feeling during this time. The concept of this album was really well put together, but it wasn't as well put together as a lot of other concept albums. If I had heard all of the songs when they came out, I probably would not have the same score for this album. So this album I'm actually going to be giving a solid 6 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for your support on the latest album review, by the way, the 6ix9ine album. I actually had a lot of fun doing that album with Darren. So if you guys want to see more of those types of album reviews, just let me know, because I would love to do those. And if you don't know, I have a Spotify playlist where you can check all the albums that I plan to review or will review in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all later.